Buddy. My name is Angel Rivera, and this is Angel in the Afternoon. And today, my special guest is the returning Snow Himbo. Snow, how are you this evening? Afternoon.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back. I somehow managed to get everything set up sort of okay. I got new curtains, so they're less abrasive than
Oh,
the
yeah,
weird
okay.
teal ones. Um, yeah, I guess I'm back. Shit, there goes the neighborhood and
Yeah, I
all
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, I hope no one's hearing that. I have some screaming outside my window. Let's see.
I didn't really hear it myself,
I'm gonna put
so I
on the
think we're
noise
okay.
reduction here because some kids screaming out here like, "Oh, come on, not right now." Luckily, it looks everything looks. If nobody can hear it, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, and I've been doing this, and I've been doing my new wrestling show, and I've been busy the last few months. So yeah,
Nice.
and and I get. I guess my first question is like, what's next for you? I mean, are you intending and nobody wants to work anymore, or what's I know you're streaming tomorrow night, but I'm just asking about your intentions after that.
Um, yeah, great question. I'm good to keep going with nobody wants to work anymore. I know we kind of took a break from that for a bit. I needed the break. I think he needed the break too, but I'll let him speak for himself as always. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to keep going with Snow Himbo streams. I'd like to branch it out a little bit. I found a really cool new game called Embers Adrift that we're going to be checking out tomorrow. It's really cool. It's like a MMORPG, but more like the old school, um, more like the old school type, where it's like you can't be antisocial. So that's gonna be cool. Yeah, just getting back to looking forward to just getting back to business as usual. I
Yeah.
had to take. I'll cover this in much greater detail
Um,
tomorrow, but I had to take some time off just to take care of some, IRL stuff and some personal stuff, and I had a bunch of shit go down. I was just like, you know what, I need, I need to kind of take some time for myself here. But yeah, I mean, for today, I'm gonna be honest. Like, literally been living under a rock for the last 3 4 months, so I imagine everything's probably just gotten shittier. But I haven't kept up to date. It's kind of nice having like I've kind of just been in this bubble where I haven't been like tuned into, you know,
yeah.
um world events or anything really that much. So, yeah, that's why I appreciate you having me on cuz I am in
Hey,
desperate need of a catch up.
hey, that's at least I wish I could. I've been all over this the last 3 months, so that's why I'm like, oh God. I mean, I could, and that's why I don't talk politics every weekend on this show. But I would, and also the other shows, it would drive me crazy too. So that's why I'm like, nope. Just take. It's good to take breaks, as Gamer says. It's good to take breaks. Hello. Please like if you haven't already. That helps the stream a lot. And let's see. Whoops. So yeah, so I hope to see nobody wants to work anymore soon. Indy's been doing more stuff lately. Like yesterday, he did that interview with the Amazon workers. I'm sure you saw
Yeah, I
that or
saw
heard
that.
about it at least. Yeah,
Yeah, check that out. Yeah. That was good.
yeah. It was interesting with that, and he did one the week before. Two other Amazon workers with Chris Smalls about their issues with Chris Smalls. So that was the week before though. So he's been doing some stuff for the network lately. So I'm sure that if he's willing to take up the other show you guys used to do, and they've been promoting it too on the INN channels. Like nobody wants to work anymore. It's like, oh, I guess it's coming back soon then.
Yeah, I'll we'll definitely see if we can get an update on that soon for everybody.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see what's that, the Sunday show. Why am I forgetting the name of it? How do we miss that? I mean, that's been on hiatus too. So since Indy is taking a break, so
Yeah. Um, I think that was kind of the vibe. Everybody just needed to recharge for a little bit, and we've all been going hard for a while. For a
yeah.
while there, I was doing Nobody Wants to Work Anymore. I was co-starring or co-hosting. I don't know the terminology, but I was on Politically Homeless as well. And on top of that, I was doing Snow Himbo streams. So I was doing like 3 shows a week. So
That's a
yeah,
lot.
I when you got a bunch of real life shit dumped on you, sometimes just gonna kind of take a step back and just kind of get all your ducks in order, as the kids say.
Hmm.
I don't think any kids say that, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, we I mean, there are times where we all kind of need the break, especially after the holidays and and all that other bullshit. And
Hmm.
it's not it hasn't really gotten better lately. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like, well, all right, so let's get started with I guess we get started with if I can actually find what I'm doing. Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place this afternoon. I'm usually am. So if you watch the show, you know that I'm usually not ready when I'm supposed to be. So, but we'll deal with it. We're doing this live.
We'll do it live.
Yep. Let's see. Where is that? All right, here we go. Yep. So, as everybody know, whoops, don't need that. Let's try to actually do this. Share my screen.
Hmm.
All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Uh, oh, let me actually try to make this bigger.
Oh fuck! I saw this. This was great. Oh
Yeah,
man.
this was awesome, but I wanted to start with this. Let's see here. Make it bigger. And I should prepare more. I know, but I just don't do it. All right, so let's see the chat. What? Thank you. Let's see. Hey, deconstructing. How are you? Appreciate it. Please give it a like. The stream. This is Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. She gets chased out of a movie theater in Brooklyn for being unable to use the word genocide. As everybody remembers, with her, in particular, if back in when she first ran for office, she demanded that everybody bring the ruckus to Washington and to the
Yep.
powerful in Washington. And guess what's happened? It turns out that no, when they bring the ruckus to her, this is her reaction. She has a total meltdown, and she has a complete meltdown. So we'll watch this first, and then we'll react.
You refuse to call it a genocide in front of everybody.
I need you to understand that this is not okay.
It's not okay that there's a genocide
She says, "I need you to understand this isn't okay." I don't know. It's kind of low.
happening. You're not actively against it.
You're lying.
I'm lying.
You're not.
You went on TV and avoided talking about it.
For what? Because now you can't say it's a genocide or what? You're just acting with political base. You can't call it a genocide, then how do you say that? We're not lying.
We're not lying.
You've been
We're on
saying it in
TV.
interviews. It's insane. You haven't been calling it a genocide. Don't tell me I'm lying. Then just say it's a genocide. Just say it. Over 30,000 people are dead, AOC. You can't just say it for once. Just say the word. That's it. That's all we want you to say. Or you're not angry about people confronting in public, but you can't call it genocide. Over 30,000 people have died.
Stop. Okay? Stop. Stop.
We're not doing anything. We're just talking to an elected politician. That's all we're doing. That's it.
To cut it, and you're going to cut this and you're going to clip this so that it's completely out of context. I already said that it was, and y'all are just going to pretend that it wasn't over and over again.
You're gonna cut it. They're gonna cut it out of context, and they're gonna do all these horrible things to me, and make me look bad. Well, maybe you should have
Yeah.
called it a genocide.
I mean, here's what I've noticed about just like
Oops.
determining. I think this applies across the board, but like a really great way to determine whether or not someone's on your side, like actually on your side, on the side of the proletariat and not on the side of
Mm-hmm.
these rich assholes who are very close to just plunging us into total corporate dystopia. Um, Normal people don't have these weird, like, hard lines that they're just like they can't cross for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to like the aims of the rich and powerful. And the fact that she's like getting this getting this combative in this clip, um over what's really like just a this is a slam dunk. You just say like, no, I did say it was a genocide. I did call it genocide. I've called it genocide a bunch of times. Keep saying it. But no, she's running away and flouncing because these people who pretend, and we've gotten to the point where I feel like everybody's kind of waking up and realizing like, oh, okay, these guys are just LARPers. They're put in here so that they can like, because what AOC represents is the same thing as the NDP up here represents and Bernie Sanders represents and all these people. In my opinion, these people are here to keep you from going out into the fucking streets. Because what they do is they create the illusion that there's someone fighting for you in the cesspool that is our government gatherings, be they parliament, be they the House of Commons, be they the Senate, Congress. That's all they're there for. They're to create the illusion um, that someone's on your side. Nobody's on your side in there because, like, I'm sorry, but nobody's going to be allowed to get in there to begin with if they're on the side of the working class. It's not going to happen because we live under
No.
capitalism and that's not how this works. You put the workers in their place, and the rich cats are basically the ones who are running the government. And that's the shithole that we call North America. And I love seeing clips like this because like this kind of pressure is really important to put on these frauds, and there's no other way to say it.
Mm.
She's a fraud. We all know, anyone with a working brain now knows she's a fraud. um you know, started out as like a super aggressive socialist person. Now she's just fucking liberal, and she's just behaving like liberal. Everything that comes out of her mouth is just typical shit liberty, violent at times. So yeah, I'm loving seeing these clips, and honestly, like if you're not happy with the way things are going, you know, keep applying this pressure. If these people
Yeah.
are supposed to be representative of you and yours, then you should be able to call them out in public. You should be able to give them shit. You know why? Because they're your representative. They can't say like, this isn't okay. You can't bug me here. No, I'm sorry. You're representing the people. This is the job you took on. If you don't like this job, I don't know, become a fucking streamer or something, dipshit. I don't know what to tell you. God
Yeah.
damn.
It's just awful. I mean, she's and during the State of the Union, which I'll get to that in a minute, but during the State of the Union address last night, she was also the only member of the squad not to have that the sign that says "Stop the Genocide." The rest, she was the only one that didn't have it. She was the one doing like the good party hack that she's become. At least, do the virtue signal, like stop the genocide now.
Yeah.
Even though we all gonna vote for it eventually and all this other stuff, but at least they do the virtue signal. She doesn't even do that. She's like, that's what she does. She's like a total party hack now.
She's been turned into.
She's a total.
She's just like Pelosi ordered from Wish at this point. That's all she is. But it's crazy how. Fuck. It's crazy how far the mighty have fallen, I suppose. Because like I remember when like you'd expect her to be the person on the other side of this. You'd expect her to be the person who's calling out the officials who are like not calling it a genocide. And to anyone listening with a fully functional brain, it is a fucking genocide. Okay, there's a genocide going on right now in real time. You can cope however you like, but anyone with a functional brain knows what's going on. And you got two roads. You can either accept it, and that comes with a lot of distressing feelings, of course, because then you have to accept the fact that you're
Yeah.
on the side of the bad guys. Like that meme, "Are we the baddies?" Like that's kind of what's going on. Or
Yeah.
you can do this shit that a lot of these dumb conservatives are doing, and they like do endless mental gymnastics to make Israel seem like some kind of victim, and these like terrorists in a vacuum organizations seem like they're representative of the people who are actually receiving the damage, and that's a hard leap, but it's a coping mechanism, and people need to understand it's a coping mechanism when you can't handle that cognitive dissonance of the, oh my god, we're the baddies. Because here's what you should do in a situation when you're asking, are we the baddies? You should reach out and you should start voicing opposition to your representatives. You should be voicing opposition across the board. You should be getting everybody you know in your life to rally and say, you know what, this isn't fucking okay. I'm not okay with the genocide. I don't think you are either. Like we're the people in this country. We can't have you supporting this. And up here in Canada, they're doing the same stupid bullshit. They're behind all this. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They're scared, or they're propagandized, one or the other, or both. Scared and propagandized usually go hand in hand. So what they do is they cope, and they think, you know what? Like, if I...
No, I was gonna say here in the United States is just as bad, if not worse. Everybody worships their favorite politicians, or refuses to hold them accountable when even if they admit they did something wrong. Is like, well, they meant well, so we're not going to do anything. We're just going to hope next time they'll do better, and we'll keep giving them money. We'll keep voting for them, and you will keep telling everybody to vote for them. We'll keep voter shaming, or else Trump. That's their excuse.
And that's the funniest fucking thing about all of it, because Trump's 100% behind this shit. He doesn't even care. And so many of his supporters are like just getting dragged right into it. Like, I'm sorry, my glow radar has never been higher for Donald Trump than lately, when he's just like 200% behind Israel, and he's just like, yeah, I'm fighting the establishment. And I'm just like, fucking idiot Trump people. He is the establishment. God damn.
He's behind the Israel thing. He wants more tax cuts. I mean, he's completely like Joe Biden 2.0, or before that, Obama or Bush or Clinton. They all the same. Every U.S. president's the same post Reagan.
Yeah, they're all just different shades of Reagan. And I told this when Trump got elected.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically like, I might have repeated this, but whatever. I have the memory of goldfish. Basically said when Trump got elected and everybody was like shitting and farting about it, I was like, guys, nothing fundamental is going to change. The bombs are going to keep falling. The poor are going to get poorer. The rich are going to get richer. Nothing changes. He's probably going to be rude in like press conferences. But as far as like your material conditions are concerned, you are still fucked. Don't worry. It's going to get worse. And whoever wins this election, it's going to get worse. And it's going to keep getting worse until the working class takes back the fucking power, which I hope happens in my lifetime.
Sure.
I pray happens in my lifetime.
Oh, Trump was elected. He's going to get elected again. Even no matter the charges or whatever new thing they do to him, which I'll get to the whole Supreme Court thing when they tried to remove him from ballots. They removed him from the ballot in Colorado and Maine and Illinois. So because he allegedly did an insurrection, even though there's not even he hasn't been charged with that, but somehow he did an insurrection on January 6th. So yeah, so they took him off the ballot, and the Supreme Court ruled that that's unconstitutional, and they put him back on the ballot, which liberals melted down over, which I'll get to in a moment. But it's another thing that's happened lately.
Oh, liberal meltdowns.
Let's
Damn,
see.
that is very
Yeah,
new.
over the Supreme Court. Here's the thing: it was 9-0. Even the liberals in the Supreme Court were like, "No, this is ridiculous. Why you can't take him off the ballot because you think he did an insurrection? Where's the conviction? Where's the charges? There's nothing. It's just, well, in our opinion, we think he did insurrection, so we're going to take him off the ballot. That's not how it works, you know.
That's not
As
democratic.
an American citizen, no, that's not. That's even that's the biggest one. You know, it's like, oh, in order to save democracy, we have to take it away. You know, it's kind of like, in order to save freedom, we have to take it away, or in order to have peace, we have to start war. You know, it's like everything's reversed.
That's the best. That's the best lie the rich ever told the workers. It was that, you know, you. I shared a meme on this. It was basically something along the lines of like, you've got to be sufficiently brainwashed to think like obeying your company or starving is some kind of fucking freedom.
And I'm not gonna play this clip because I can't. I don't want to risk a strike on it. And my channel Ryan ends, but Jon Stewart, when a few weeks ago when he came back to the Daily Show, he did a segment on Tucker Carlson making fun of him. And Tucker Carlson is talking about, look at how clean the stations in Moscow are. And then fucking Jon Stewart came back and said, well, that's the price of freedom. You know, we have dirty train stations and there's people pissing all over. That's the price of freedom. I'm like, I'd rather have the clean train station. But that's just me. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't want that type of freedom.
I mean, it's just like, the funny thing is, where's the freedom? Where's the freedom? Like, the funniest thing is like what we just talked about. Jon Stewart is here talking about like freedom, how much freedom we have, and you're talking about like, I can't share this clip unless because I'm worried about getting a strike. And it's like, where's the fucking freedom?
Yes.
Where is it? Where did it go?
There is no freedom.
Where did the freedom go, lads? Because I don't feel very free.
Even though technically that would fall under free use because I'm using it to, you know, commentate on it. But Viacom, who owns The Daily Show and Comedy Central, they strike the shit out of everything. Even you use 5 seconds of it. So that's why I'd rather, and even if I can, you know, appeal it, who knows whether the algorithm of YouTube will accept it or not. So not take the risk. It's like, fuck it. I'm not going to play any Daily Show clips for that reason. Or any clips belonging into Viacom. So this is another version of the AOC meltdown. I wanted to, this is a different angle.
Does this have no sound on purpose?
It does not, you can't hear anything?
No.
Oh. I wonder why. Hold on.
That's okay. I'm actually a huge fan of like this kind of organic style of streaming.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird you can't hear this.
Whatever. It's got captions. I'll
Yeah, you can read it here for some reason. I don't know why you can't hear it. Oops.
I need you to understand this is not okay. What? Holding a representative accountable? No, that's pretty okay, lady. I'm sorry. That's what you're supposed to do when you feel like you're not getting listened to.
Yeah, it's that.
That's the funny thing. She couldn't even say it there. I already said that it was. What was? What did you say? Why can't you say the word?
Yeah, she can't say.
Also,
why are you afraid of over and over?
Why are you afraid of getting clipped? Why is that worrisome? Like, is there some sort of context? Like, are people gonna like edit your words into like something they're not? Is this gonna be like a tall Bart clip?
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Just like fucks around.
She's afraid if they catch her saying yes, it's a genocide. it'll get out in Washington, and then they'll all melt down at her. Nancy Pelosi will yell at her again, and she'll have to cry in the corner and do exactly what she's told. That's what she's afraid of. Yes, it
She
is
doesn't
Reese's
want a
birthday
slap on the
today.
wrist from Mama Bear. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, brother.
Yeah, Reef. I'm not sure how good or what age he is. I don't know, but it's definitely his birthday today. I already wished him happy birthday. So happy birthday, Reef, if you're there.
Happy 14th birthday, Reef.
Yeah. Oops. Let me charge this laptop. Excuse me.
She's so problematic. Just my type. I think I can fix her. Yeah, that's the big one. I can fix her.
All right, there we go.
I'm glad I'm
She's
married because I went through years of I can fix her, and you know what? Spoiler alert: you can't fix her.
No, you can't
just
fix.
throw it away.
Yeah.
You can just find someone you don't need to fix. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Why is it? Hold on. Right there. Why is it so hard for her to call this genocidal when she demanded, to stop funding?
She didn't even say the
I
word.
just don't get it.
That's the biggest tell to me. She didn't say the word. She couldn't say the word. That's the fucking funniest part of all of this. It's like she had to do that linguistic trick where you address the person and give yourself plausible deniability, but in the same sense you're still perpetuating the thing they're calling you out for. Because they're saying, why can't you call it a genocide? And she's like, I already said it was, but she's not saying genocide. Fuck. Oh, these people are so... It's like being in a relationship with a narcissist. It's the same thing. It's just every single conversation, you feel like you're getting tied up in a corner.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. All right, so this is the media meltdown over the Supreme Court giving us democracy.
Nice.
Which is basically what they did. Why is it not popping up here? There it is. My computer is running kind of slow today. Here we go. Excuse the slowness of my computer. I mean, we're live. The leftist media full meltdown over the court's unanimous decision to allow Trump back on the ballot in Colorado. So this is the clip. I hope everybody can hear this.
We've learned
because for some reason I can hear it, but okay.
Yep, it's good.
Okay, that one I don't know why you couldn't hear, but that was weird.
that it was a 9-0 decision ruling that Donald Trump can be on the ballot in Colorado and other states.
I'm not confident that will produce a result that's good for American democracy.
This is actually...
Wait, so he just said... What did he just say? That was ridiculous.
A result...
Other states.
I'm not confident that will produce a result that's good for American
democracy.
Democracy.
Yeah. So apparently the ruling putting Trump back on the ballot and giving us democracy is somehow not good for democracy. That's the worst double talk I've ever seen. Is oh well, yeah, we want democracy. We want democracy, but at the same time, putting Trump back at the ballot means that's a risk of democracy, and we can't have that. What? That's ridiculous double talk. I mean, this is MSNBC for you for the most part. Let me see. Who's more?
This is actually
CNN,
what I had been concerned about. I had been concerned that should it go to the Supreme Court, they would rule this way.
I'd laugh if it weren't so sad.
My next guest says Donald Trump is still an oath-breaking insurrectionist. Do you have confidence in the Supreme Court? Do you think this court is partisan?
The court itself.
What the fuck is that face? Look at her face.
That is the face of way too many mimosas at brunch.
Yeah, it's like
look at the ghoulish circles under the eyes. That's Joe Biden slowly sucking the life out of you to sustain his lich form.
Yeah, it's like she took too much Adderall or had too many drinks before she went on air because holy shit. That's scary.
In the Supreme Court? Do you think this court is partisan?
The court itself may have overstepped.
The court went way further than it needed to go.
Our colleague Melissa Murray has called this Supreme Court the YOLO court.
The criticism of the court.
What? Did he just say YOLO court?
The YOLO court.
He did. What is the YOLO court?
The YOLO court? I don't.
just-
Are they trying to incorporate like not 500-year-old terminology to appeal to like any boomers who aren't watching this or something? What are they doing with that? That's fucking weird.
That's what it comes across. Some is like trying to appeal to younger people, but MSNBC's average audience is like 65. They're not even going to know what that even means. So that's kind of embarrassing that he would go there. It's like, oh, it's the YOLO court. Like, you only live once court? Like, what is that supposed to mean?
Criticism of the court is that they're playing interference.
Not since Bush v. Gore have we seen a court that's had this many opportunities to interfere in the election.
The headline.
No, that's not what they did. They did the opposite. They didn't interfere in the election. They gave us democracy. They gave us Trump back on the ballot. That's the exact opposite of Bush versus Gore, where they stopped the count and it declared Bush the winner. What are you talking about? It's the exact opposite. It's like, oh, yeah, well, he gave us, giving us democracy and putting Trump back on the ballot. Somehow that's bad or even worse than Bush versus Gore. That makes no sense. Fuck.
No, it's really stupid. But that's
you only live once. I know that's what it means, but I don't understand how that connects to the Supreme Court.
Fuck,
ridiculous. Man. And it gets worse because I've seen this clip.
Here is that this is a unanimous ruling, but if you scratch the surface just a little,
this is a 5-4 ruling on part of it.
This is actually a 5-4 decision.
It's 5-4.
All right, I need to explain this 5-4 part because the actual decision is 9-0. It's 9. I'll get back to the rest of that, but the actual decision is 9-0, putting Trump back on the ballot. However, there's a separate case or a separate part of this case where I'm talking about the insurrection, which basically the only people that can hold Trump accountable for insurrection is Congress. It's not the federal courts or the local state officials. No, the only people who can do that is Congress, which is another thing that I have a problem with because they wanted the federal courts to do it and they were ready to do it. But it's like, oh, no, it's only Congress that can hold them accountable. So good luck with trying to get Congress to pass anything, So that's why another reason why they're pissed off.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's what that means when they talk about 5-4.
Even the media's somehow gotten worse. I didn't think they could get worse, but this is like when you're at the point where it's like, if we can't like overrule democracy, it's bad for democracy. Like, this is getting to the level where it's cartoonish. It's just like, okay, I don't know how anybody can watch this shit and not immediately be like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. What they're saying doesn't make sense. Because here's the thing, like, if the majority of voters want to vote for, a rich genocide supporting narcissist who spent a lifetime exploiting workers, that should be their right. Should they do it? Fuck no. You shouldn't vote for Donald Trump. You shouldn't vote for Joe Biden either. They're basically the same person. One of them just reads off a teleprompter and the other kind of, just wings it. So
they're the same people.
Either of them. They're both trash. They both represent the same interests, and people who think they don't represent the same interests are unbelievably brainwashed or woefully ignorant as to how the world works.
It's unbelievable. It's just dumb. Just incredibly dumb. It gets, but somehow, this gets worse.
It's stupid as fuck.
Trump will take this, spin it, spread the misinformation, disinformation on it. So it's a win for them.
What disinformation and misinformation? It makes no sense. It's like, well, he's going to say he won the case, which he did. Why is that misinformation? Again, it's like, it boggles the mind how bad this is coverage. This is U.S. news coverage on MSNBC and CNN. This is coverage. This is real. It's not a parody. This is not the Daily Show. This is real.
Also,
on the ballot and voters will vote.
It's always hilarious watching these clowns talk about like misinformation and disinformation because it's like, y'all, like, you guys are the biggest providers of misinformation. I'm sorry. I remember
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
y'all lying to us in real time about a million different things. I remember this piece of shit network telling me there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I remember this, and everybody
It
else
was
should remember this
MSNBC.
too. So when they say they're concerned about misinformation, what they're actually saying is we're concerned about misinformation that we don't have control over. Which, to be fair,
100%.
I think is I to be fair, I think it's kind of like that's kind of like a, I don't 100% believe that. I don't think like Trump's this like opposing force to the Democratic Party.
He
I'm
was a
sorry, I
Democrat.
just yeah, like I think a lot of this is kind of pro wrestling. I always have, but
Yeah.
watching them be like, "Oh, he's gonna give misinformation." It's like, bro, you guys are all fucking liars. You lie to people all day, every day, and you get paid a lot of money to do so. Shut the fuck up.
I made I made the case that politics and pro wrestling are almost exactly alike. That's why I've
It is.
always that's why I see a lot of this stuff coming. It's like, oh, they're gonna do this, aren't they? Like with the budget fights or the fight to raise the debt, the debt ceiling. It's always gonna raise it. This is all pro wrestling nonsense. We're like, we may not raise it. Oh, we'll raise it, but you got to give us all this stuff that we want. Oh, we will raise it. We won't raise it, maybe, but you got to give us more stuff in order to raise it. And guess what? They always raise it, So
It's always got like it's got the same concepts too, because like I remember back in the day when like Stone Cold was a heel, right? He was a heel, nobody liked him, and then he became
Yeah.
like the fan favorite, like the crowd favorite, and it's like it's the same thing. Because look at Bush. Bush was the biggest heel ever, and then they
Yeah.
rehabilitated him and made him like, and I'll call it out forever. They're going to do this with Trump eventually too. They're going to rehabilitate him and make him some kind of like liberal like favorite. It's the same fucking play. You're playing the
Yeah,
heel and then
he's
you're playing the good guy, and it kind of vacillates and alternates, and
Trump.
yeah, it's like it literally is pro wrestling.
Trump was mastered the wrestling heel talk. This is what the heels always tell an uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to hear. Trump does it all the time.
Yep.
Like, he's the master at it, which is why Washington hates him. Not because he's anti-establishment or because he all of a sudden going to give us Medicare for all or whatever. No, he's not going to do any of that. But he tells uncomfortable truth that nobody in Washington wants to hear, which is why they all hate him and melt down over this.
I think here's what I think. I think it's more of a like Trump is super effective at achieving the ruling class's aims, but I think he's a PR nightmare. So I think a lot of this is like, okay, how do we spin it this time? He just got up there and said some crazy shit. He said this that he wasn't supposed to say. He said that he wasn't supposed to say. How do we spin this? How do we repackage this in a way that like we can like damage deal? He's like that guy. He's like that guy on your like your work team that keeps fucking up, but he's really good at his job. So you just have to deal with the fuck ups because he brings so much value to the table. I am that guy, by the way, in every single job I've had. I get really good at the job, but I will fuck some shit up, and then you got to clean up my crap.
The deep state. I mean, that's why they tried to build up Chris Christie. Failed miserably. Okay, fine. Forget Chris Christie. Nikki Haley. She agrees to everything on Trump, but she's a woman and she's good looking and she won't say crazy shit. Vote for her. She only won 2 primaries. I think it was Vermont and some other state that had open primaries. I think it was not Delaware. Rhode Island. She won 2 primaries and they were all open primaries. So Democrats all voted for her. That's why she won those 2 primaries. She didn't win shit in Republican primaries. She lost her home state of South Carolina. That's how badly she did. All right.
That's because
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Make your
God,
point.
I hate Snow Himbo for how much I love him.
Yeah, I
Love
was
you,
gonna.
buddy. I missed you guys. I missed you guys so much. Yeah, I mean, it feels like the Chuds have picked their fake anti-establishment candidate. Um, I said this. I said this to my one of my buddies who's like a big Trump guy. I said, you know what I can't wait for? Can't wait for when Trump wins and he does a bunch of shit that you didn't want, and then you're going to feel obligated to defend your support of him by pretending that the things he's doing are things that you didn't voice your vocal lack of support for. I love these clowns. I love this fake like I love this fake dichotomy they've manufactured artificially where it's like, yeah, it's liberals or conservatives and like this is bro, they all go to dinner. Like I don't
They
know what to tell
they
you.
all love it.
These people are
Yeah, they
not
all.
on opposite sides.
But when Trump gets elected, what I'm hoping for at least is that Democrats will realize how horrifying what's going on in Gaza. Because Trump will continue it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It'll get worse than the Trump, and
Oh, he'll double
then they're
down.
like,
He'll
"Holy,
double the fuck
yeah,"
down. I guarantee you.
yeah, and we will. And Democrats like, "Holy shit, this is so horrible. Why didn't we do anything before?" When like, well, Joe Biden was president. Why didn't you do anything then? Because I know because Trump is president now. He's an evil guy. So now we got to do everything we can to stop it. Hopefully, that's the best case
Well, it's
scenario. That maybe they'll stop it, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Well, this is kind of the funniest thing about politics, right? Like, I'll make a reference. Like, it's how I would say the best example I can see is like the attitude from the media when it came to like the COVID shot, for example. Because when Trump was talking about the COVID shot, they were all like, "Oh, well, you know, it's new, and there's all these things that could happen." And then the second Biden's and all, it's the same shot. It was the same thing. There was nothing different, nothing changed. It was the same product. It was just the fact that like there was a changing of the guard, and suddenly it went from like, oh, I don't know, it's new and I don't trust it to, oh, this is great, it's amazing. And it's like, you guys have no fucking convictions outside of like this phony like party rulership that you desperately want us to think is gonna do anything. Because like Biden took over from Trump, everything got worse. Trump's probably going to take over from Biden again. And guys, everything's going to continue to get worse. Nothing is fundamentally going to fucking change because the real people in charge, they're the same people. Okay? We're at the point, and people really got to get on board with this. We're at the point where politicians aren't even in control. Politicians at this point are basically just customer success managers for corporations. Okay, people don't understand how close we are to like a literal like corporate fucking like enslavement of the planet. Like Coca-Cola is going to be the one who has like access to cutting off your water. Like we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, if it gets better. But yeah, I mean, let's see. If you haven't liked, please give me a like and subscribe. Appreciate. Now let's see whether I can last 30 seconds of this. Yeah, 30 seconds.
He looks like he's headed to become the Republican nominee for president.
You can't save the people from themselves. If they're determined to reelect him after he organized that insurrection, then there's nothing to stop the people from doing that.
That last part is telling to me. Let me go back because I need to make sure I understand what he said.
You can't save the people from themselves.
You can't save a people from themselves. That's the key word there. That's what they were trying to do.
If they're determined to reelect him after,
yeah, that's exactly. They in their minds they wanted Trump off the ballot, so you had no choice but not to vote for him because they were trying to save us from Trump.
I'm curious. I'm really curious if that was deliberate because it's like that kind of talk. We're at the point where like I'm not sure if that wasn't like completely deliberate. Because they're basically saying, like, right out in the blue, like, listen, the the poors, they're too stupid to understand. They're not like us. You need to listen to us. It's too on the nose. I don't know. I'm so torn because it feels like the media's like nudging everyone like deliberately into the direction of Trump, because everything they're saying is just like it's so dumb. It's like, oh, having democracy is bad for democracy, and the people can't make this decision. You need to listen to CNN. It's at the point where it's like, okay, in 2024, this is a little too on the nose. I'm not sure if I trust. I'm not sure if I can take this at face value. Do you guys just want like the orange man to win so you can keep doing your bullshit in Gaza? Is that really what's going on here? Is that like the core issue? Fuck.
I wouldn't be. What they're planning to if Trump wins, all of a sudden all their financing comes back. All the wine moms will start giving a shit ton of money to the Democratic Party, to the Lincoln Project. They're all going to enrich themselves again.
Yeah,
it's like what happened in his first term, and it's going to get worse now because more money was made.
Because then they can brainwash all those shit libs into like, oh, we gotta rally, we gotta fight Trump. It's gonna be 4 years of blah blah blah, and like they love it. They love it because they can get away with whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to be. They get a break from like making any shitty decisions because they can just like they get to do nothing and not be blamed for it. They're like, well, Trump, right? Trump's in office, so we can't do anything. It's the same shit. Fuck.
Yeah, it's the same crap over and over again. But I found this is the Biden did his little State of the Union address yesterday. I didn't watch it because I had more important things to watch or do. And why would I watch something that that all Biden's gonna do is just say the same shit over and over again?
He's gonna read
and mumble and slur his way to the speech.
Yeah. The only thing I watch this shit for now is I'm just like, I want to see the latest like Biden glitch. I want to see where he like just starts saying some gibberish out of fucking nowhere, or like he like says a different country or some shit. I'm not gonna lie, I unironically miss Obama just because he was at least good at lying. Like we know they're not in control, we know they're bullshitting, but like at least Obama was good at it. Now we're getting like, well, the airplane is the cheesecake perfect for you. Like it's just
what?
Actually, I don't know. I might prefer Biden just for comedic value because at least I laugh my ass off.
Yeah. So this is an interesting compilation. I just found this. If you've seen one Joe Biden State of the Union address, you've seen them all.
Okay.
So apparently he said the same thing in multiple years. So
check it out.
Let's watch.
For too many decades, we imported projects and exported jobs. Now, thanks to what you've all done, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs.
Wow.
Building the economy from the
That's only
bottom
word
up
for
and the middle
word.
out, not from the top down. To build an economy from the bottom up and the middle, not from the top down. Building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. We're the only nation on earth that has always turned every crisis we faced into an opportunity. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it.
It's all the same thing.
Control our lives. Today, COVID no longer controls our lives. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The only nation that can be defined by a single word, possibilities. Actually, I can define it in one word, and I mean this. Possibilities. Possibilities. I'm a capitalist. Look, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist.
I'm a capitalist.
Let's pass the PRO Act.
Joe, we fucking know that. Nobody doesn't know that.
He's saying the same thing over and over again. Look, 2022, 2023, 2024.
Because he's got writers.
It's like
he's got writers who like are like, okay, well, let's have him say this again here, because that got like a good response here. This is like
and
he's got a whole team behind. Yeah, exactly, and a fucking Zionist, so it doesn't.
I'm sure he'll talk about how Israel needs assistance.
I like that.
Savvy covered it last year, and this year JB covered it. Yeah, I mean this goes on. It's another 4 minutes of this. He keeps going with the same shit over and over.
Extend the child tax credit. And let's restore the full child tax credit. Restore that child tax credit. If you travel 20 miles
3 years
east of
in a
Columbus,
row.
Ohio, you'll see a field of dreams. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams. Our infrastructure is ranked 13th in the world. Used to be number 1 in the world in infrastructure. We've sunk
So
to
fucking clown.
Yeah, because we were the only country that had any real infrastructure after World War II.
You know what this reminds me
Europe
of?
was destroyed.
He reminds me of
Yeah, go ahead.
one of those Skyrim NPCs where you walk by them a bunch of times and they have the same 3 or 4
Yes.
scripted words where
Yes.
it's like I used to
I know exactly what you're talking.
I used to be a vice president like you, but then I took Israel to the knee, or I paraphrased a little, I think. But it's he's literally in NPC mode. He just goes up there, he says the same thing. Everybody claps.
Yeah, he keeps saying the same thing, and it's more and more ridiculous. So this goes on. I mean, this is like a 5-minute compilation. This is amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, he needs better writers. Because I'm sorry,
yeah, they keep writing the same speech.
If you were a writer in any other capacity than writing for this fucking zombie fossil, you'd get fired because they'd be like, okay, you're regurgitating, you're bringing up old material. We need some new stuff. We need it to be fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead, it's like, nope. It's like, well, I mean, let me just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Nobody will notice.
Yeah.
At least in Washington, they all get up and clap like walruses. Like, they keep doing that for you. Because that they don't care. I mean, they're especially Democrats. Like, this is our president, so we're gonna whatever he says. Even if he's just gibberish, it doesn't matter.
You know what?
Yeah,
maybe they're so down bad when it comes to how much they can pay their writers that they actually are using ChatGPT. Maybe it's just write a speech for Joe Biden, and they just grab the shit and they just put it on the teleprompter. He just reads
it sounds like it. It's like this. Chat GPT wrote that. Oh, okay. I can go to Chat GPT and give me a script for a video. I've done it. I never actually used it. Oh wow. I mean, that sounds stilted, and if I try to read that, it'll sound like shit, and I get no views anyway. So I never actually did it. But
I got bored one day. Y'all try this for a minute. This is kind of fun. Go to Chat GPT. And ask ChatGPT to give a defense of Israel in the current situation with Palestine. Don't even say current, just say situation with Palestine. And then go look on the fucking Bird app and go look at what all these fucking dumb conservatives are regurgitating, and liberals. Same thing. They've always been the same thing. Just one of them pretends to be polite. But I had them make the defense, and then I went on, and it was all the same points. So I'm thinking, are they actually going off ChatGPT? Are they using AI for propaganda now? And if so, is this gonna backfire fucking incredibly because people are gonna catch on to all of the similarities in their propaganda points?
Either they're using Chat GPT and we're all getting lazy because with AI, they can do anything for us, or the AI is seeing all this information, just copying it. I don't know which one it is, but I don't know which one's worse, honestly. Whether they're all copying Chat GPT or Chat GPT is seeing all this chatter with the talking points and just stealing that and using that to make its case. I don't know. I don't know what's worse.
Shit on earth. It's clown. This is the Biden presidency. If you vote for Biden again, you should be just mailed an insane clown posse CD saying thank you for your vote and some clown makeup and be like, congratulations, you're now a juggalo, because that's the level. No offense to any juggalos out there, by the way. Whoop whoop. I love Fago, so I'm not gonna shit on you.
Yeah, if you haven't liked, please give me a like. I mean, I feel like a broken record, but yeah, the likes are important.
So
There's
every
more of
child,
this.
every American has clean water to drink at home and at school. We're also replacing poisonous lead pipes, removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage. We're going to do it by buying American. Buy American products. We're going to buy American. We're going to buy America. Buy America. The American Rescue Plan help working people.
Oh my God, Chuck Schumer is like, let me.
America.
He's like,
The American Rescue Plan.
He didn't say
help working
anything.
Look at that.
But
that is such like he's such a fucking like halfling gnome sort of.
He's like,
hybrid.
he didn't say anything.
He's that
Actually,
asshole that sells you a ring in the RPG that like poisons you or some shit. Look
Oh
at that
God,
face.
those are horrible. The whole buy American thing. By the way, we don't make anything here, so how are we going to buy American? I mean, there's very few things you actually make here in America, and I can't even T-shirts. Not even. I don't know because most of it's made in foreign markets anyways and sold to us at a markup. So it's like, what do we make here? Joe, buy American. Buy American. It'll work well for us. Except we don't make anything here.
Oh, that's another hilarious. You guys get this hilarious point? It's like they all want you to think China's like this evil communist like dystopia, right? Okay, then why do we buy everything from them?
Yep.
You guys seem to be fine with buying their products despite them being this evil, horrible. Oh, but you'll buy their products and you'll sell it to Americans. Okay.
That's why.
Okay,
That's
that
why
makes sense.
that's why the saber rattling with China makes no sense. The saber rattling makes no sense. We're talking about they're not, they can't take Taiwan. It's like, but Taiwan belongs to them. We've agreed to this for decades in the one China policy. And you're now fucking around with that and trying to like, oh no, we're going to give Taiwan weapons. It makes no sense. Because what happens to the Chinese say, you know what, fuck it, we're not going to sell you anymore. We're not going to allow your products in here. We're not going to make your products. Good luck.
Dude, if China just said fuck you one day, like North America would shut down.
Yeah, we need them.
They'd be done. If they're just like, no, fuck you. We're just going to sell to the rest of the world. I don't care. Go fuck yourself. Nobody would have anything anymore. You wouldn't be able to get shit.
Because of neoliberalism, we shipped out all the jobs to China with their cheap labor. Yeah, that's great, but the issue is if you saber rattle them and you piss them off enough, Xi Jinping is going to be like, give us the finger and sell to Russia again, and they're becoming closer to Russia. And then what? We're fucked, aren't we? Yeah, we can't make anything here. Americans have gotten used to buying Chinese-made products. Like that, I have an iPhone here, and I guarantee. And this is made in China. These things are exclusively made in China. So what's Apple going to do? They're going to be fucked because they don't have China. They wouldn't have China in this scenario. So yeah, it's not. Fucking with China is like a huge mistake, and if the United States, Washington's going to regret. And we're all going to pay for it. There's more of this.
People and left no one behind.
Now you can clap, Chuck.
We're building an economy where no one's left behind. We leave no one behind. I get it. I get it.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it.
We pay more for the same drug produced by the same company in America than any other country in the world.
We pay more for the same drugs. He says it again, I'm sure.
We pay more for
there it is again.
Drugs than any nation in the world.
Here it is
pay
again
more
yesterday.
For prescription drugs than anywhere in the world.
Why don't you do anything about it? It's like, really? I mean, yeah, I know we pay for more. We pay for our drugs are more expensive than anywhere else in the world. Like, if you would go up the border, go up to Canada, these drugs are so much more cheaper up there. And I know that you would know. I mean, you're Canadian, so you can talk more about that. But you muted. I don't know whether something I did or. Well, bear with us. We got some technical difficulties here.
I think that works, yeah.
All right, now I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Me reconnecting my headphones because these shitty little wireless things, which I hope don't die out in like less than an hour. They both powered down and pooped out of batteries. So I grabbed my other headset. And I think that like fucked up voice mod or some bullshit. Anyway. Yeah. That's the clarion call of neoliberalism though. This whole like all of these things need to be better, but then they do the polar opposite because they can just do that. Because the thing is, like, they can just the format they have for on these platforms, they can just talk outward. There's no pushback.
No,
that's the biggest thing. Like, you need pushback. So when it's like, we need fucking this to happen, no one's like, okay, well, why are you saying that if you're doing this? They don't have anything. And the thing is, politicians just don't get that. They never get that. They don't even get it in debates because, curiously enough, all of the actual issues that matter never get covered in the debates. It's always these weird issues that, like, everybody kind of goes, oh, he owned him there. And it's like, does that issue even affect you? Not really, right?
There's a bunch.
Why do you care?
On Twitter, there was a bunch of bullshit from partisan Democrats. Oh, zinger from Biden against the Republicans. That's all I saw. And this video, like, it perfectly encapsulates Biden's States of the Union. That's why I'm like, let me play this instead of going to Brooklyn Dad or all these assholes, that are Democrats. He's zinger, he got him, but he didn't get him. It's just ridiculous. But
yep,
it was embarrassing. I was like, I'm not gonna play any of those clips. I was like, this goes on another 3 minutes. I mean, I'm amazed at how much Biden repeated himself here throughout the years.
It costs about $10 a vial to make. It costs the drug companies roughly $10 a vial to make that insulin. Let's cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Let's cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35. I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. We're going to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. The IBW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations.
How long is that going to take? It's 3 years. Where are those charging stations? Fuck it. I haven't seen any charging stations around where I live. Where are those charging stations? The closest one I know is like an hour away in Princeton. It's like, yeah, I don't have an electric car, so I'm not going to fucking go an hour out of my way to get electric, but
you know what it is? He's reading the teleprompter wrong. He's adding more zeros, I think.
Yeah.
I think it says like 50 and he's like 5,000 because like he's seeing double. Actually, it's probably double vision, right? It's probably double vision because he's seeing the zeros and they go like, and then he's like, oh, that's 4 zeros. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the big one. Where's the grid to support all these these charging stations? And our electrical grid can't take this. It's like 100 years old here in the United States, at least. I'm talking about our electrical grids can't take that. So that's why
it's all bullshit. It's all talk. Because when you think these things through and you go like. When you think these things through and go like, okay, but like, how's that going to happen? If your answer is like, I don't know, then just assume their answer as well as I don't know. And I'm just saying it because like, I think like 90% of this is just to prevent people from getting into the streets. That's it. It's just to prevent people from getting out into the streets and taking the means of production back. Because that's the big thing they don't want.
There's no specificity to any of what Biden said. It's just a flowery Obama-style rhetoric. Ever since Obama started that, Biden did it, the Democratic Party using this flowery rhetoric. Oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, we're going to do this. It's every election year. And then all of a sudden, nothing after that. But there's I'm going to get to it in a few minutes, but there's something even worse that Democrats have been doing. That that's a clear virtue signal because it's an election year. But let me play not play the whole thing. This is ridiculous, but
we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair.
Oh no, the taxes.
The tax system is not fair. It is not fair. Does anybody really think the tax code is fair? 55 of the Fortune 500 companies earned $40 billion in profit and paid 0 in federal taxes. 55 of the largest corporations in America, the Fortune 500. made $40 billion in profits and paid 0 in federal taxes. 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion.
They made more than that. He's repeating himself from 2022. Like 40 billion and 40 billion. No, they made a lot more than that every year. They increase their profits every year. And it's the same profits, Oh, well, they made 40 billion in 2022. Oh, they made 40 billion again this year. Or they made 40 billion again in 2024, which is this year. Like they keep increasing their profits. That's part of the problem. Moron. Like somebody just lazily just wrote the 40 billion number and he keeps repeating it like without asking his staff. The number went up, right? Why are we may not know the number, but at least let's double it every year. Do something, No, this is repeat the same talking point. Excuse me. This is insane.
I mean, god damn. I didn't think it could actually get fucking worse, but it's gotten worse.
Oh yeah.
I was really hoping like maybe they'd like switch it up and like throw people a bone, but no, they're just doubling down on this ridiculous bullshit.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the same thing every year.
Which is why I think they actually want Trump to win. It feels like all of this is just nudging everybody to like landslide Trump again, so everything can just fucking everything can continue to be worse, and then you have all the people who pretended they were like anti-establishment, like licking the boot completely.
All of these assholes will be back. The Democratic Party will raise a bunch of funds. The Lincoln Project will be back, and they'll raise a bunch of funds and put out ridiculous videos that make no sense and scare the war moms.
Dash Dabrowski's gonna make a fortune. Imagine his TikTok popping off where he's like, Donald Trump just said a word that I didn't like. Ah! Like, I can't wait. He fucking cracks me up because he's like, to this day, I don't know who people like Dash Dabrowski's for. It's like, okay, is this appealing to like the meth addict fucking group? Who is this unhinged dude like marketing towards here? Like Donald Trump just said a bad word.
If this was the 80s, I would say taking a bunch of cocaine. But it's 2024, so I'm saying he took a bunch of Adderall for him to make all these videos. So he's like, like his eyes are bugging out. It's like he's definitely on something.
But he's gotta be, because like, first off, you can't cuck that hard for Joe Biden and like be a normal person.
Could you?
First off, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't be this into Joe Biden and fucking. You can't be this into liberals and be an okay human being. He's got to have some kind of addiction, or he's got like a massive personality disorder that he hasn't even considered any kind of behavioral therapy for. It's one or the other. It could be both. Probably is both, but yeah.
There's no way that anybody can. It's like those kids now that are coming out. Harry Sisson and his little loser buddy. I forget his name. And
Harry and Carrie. I know his name's not Carrie, but I'm just gonna call it Carrie.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
Harry
I don't remember.
Carrie.
And that's his buddy. His little lackey. I forget his name right now, but yeah, it's Harry and him and this other dude you were talking about. I mean, they're all gonna Brooklyn Dad. They're all gonna come back and make millions now. Once Trump is
They're
elected.
gonna make mad bank because it's gonna be 4 years of Orange Man Bad, the sequel. Now in 8K or what the fuck ever.
And they get to Russiagate. They'll Russiagate 2.0. That'll come back. It's already coming back. Hillary Clinton's already saying Putin's helping Trump win the election again because they see the polling. They know Biden's gonna lose. That's why they're bringing back Russiagate from the grave.
Also, the ruling class wants Trump because the arc is. I've been calling it for years, but I'm going to call it again. The arc is going to shift drastically as China starts like continuing to beat out the West.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to shift drastically. You're going to see under Trump, like China's like, they're like evil communists and they're coming for your kids.
Trump is already doing
it's going to
that.
get way, yeah, I know, but it's going to get way worse.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lean into that so hard that like, I'm pretty sure the ruling class wants Trump to be the guy to finally like start an actual war with China, because that's the only other option than just admitting that the empire of America is coming to a close and the rest of the world is moving on without them, because Everybody started bullshit.
And it started from the dumbest thing. It's like the Biden when Biden invaded. Let me try this again. When
It's
Putin
okay.
invaded
I do this
Ukraine,
every day.
I did yes, I said Biden invaded Ukraine. Anyway, when Putin invaded Ukraine, they did all these sanctions, and there's like, oh, the Russian economy will be crippled without us. Trust us, believe us. Well, it turns out that the Russian economy is better than ever, and our sanctions are a waste of time. Let's do more sanctions. And they double down, triple down. They triple down on the sanctions.
It's so
because
good.
because they went to China. It's like, hey, you want to buy oil cheap? It's like, oh yeah, of course. So and they're not even using American dollars anymore. They're using the Chinese yen to make these businesses, to make these transactions. So the U.S. dollar is in a very precarious position. Now the Indian government is doing business with Russia in their currency, I think, and most countries are starting to be done with the American dollar. They don't trust us. Our government's far too psychotic. They're far too crazy. They may sanction us for no reason. That's what they're thinking. So it's like, okay, fuck it. Let's do business with Russia and China instead, and their currency. Let's prop them up. So because I don't blame these countries like India and a lot of Eastern European states that are allies with Putin. Is like I agree. I don't blame them, even though that means the U.S. empire is collapsing at its feet without Washington realizing. They think, oh no, we're still in charge. Everything's fine. We'll keep sanctioning countries and everything is fine. They don't know. They seem like they don't know that the empire is collapsing around them, and they don't even realize it. It's like, this is not going to be good, especially when Trump becomes president, and then he saber rattles China even more. The rest of the world will be like, no, I mean, fuck the Americans. They're far too psychotic. Let's just go with the Chinese and the Russians, and let's do business with them.
I mean, and we see it up here in Canada too. There's a lot of like xenophobic, like anti-China rhetoric, where the conservatives up here like China's infiltrating the Canadian government. It's like, bro, no, it's just, I don't know. Maybe Canada's starting to realize, shit, okay, I don't want to go down. Like, I feel like some people in Canada, some politicians are probably like, fuck, I don't want to go down with the America shit. Hey, China, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
We're sorry for being linked to these assholes, but we're kind of stuck here, and
yeah, I mean,
we gotta trade with them. So,
even Mexico is kind of like, yeah. I mean, hey, China, how you doing? I mean, because none of these countries, especially Mexico and Canada, they don't want to go down with this ship. Because this ship is going down. It's just a matter of time. We don't know when. It could be 10 years, 20 years. It could be 5 years or 3 years. Who knows? I mean, when Trump
I think it's going to be. I feel like the ruling class is really close to making their like final stand against like losing their power. Because here's the thing, like, psychopaths never give up their power willingly. It's likely going to get quite ugly before power is finally wrested. Like, we're going to see some Nero shit. We're going to see some, like, Rome is burning shit. Joe Biden doesn't know how to play the violin, but he'll probably be eating it in the White House when that happens.
Oh, yeah, this country is... There's a fever... It's at a fever pitch at this point. It's like we don't know when that one match is going to light, and all of a sudden, everyone's on the streets. We don't know what's going to happen. I can't even fathom to guess how bad it's going to get, but... Oh, that's all right, Steph. It's fine. Thank you for joining us late. I mean, at least you're here. If you haven't, please give us a like. Very important. And I'll play a little bit of this, and then I'll get to something else real quick.
And paid 0 in federal income tax. 0. Ban targeted advertising to children. Ban targeted advertising to children. Under my plan, nobody.
Ban targeted advertising to children. I'm assuming this is about the free games that children play, and there's all these ads, trying to get you to buy virtual coins in order to buy stuff. That's what I'm assuming they're talking about, even though I don't know 100% since I don't have children.
Yeah, let's do that. Not indoctrinate
Nobody
children.
earning less than $400,000 a year.
Yeah, but they won't pass legislation to actually do that. So again, this is all rhetoric from Joe Biden, which he repeats every year. Seems like
pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny. Under my plans, as long as I'm president, nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. Nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny. Well,
It's like a string puppet.
The Americans start paying their fair share.
Yeah, he just keeps repeating himself. And there's 2 more minutes of this, which is amazing.
Sure that the wealthy and big
At some point, I wish he would be like, "There's a snake in my boots."
Yeah, it's like it's 2 more minutes of this. I mean, they got 5 minutes of footage of him completely just repeating himself for years.
Big corporations, very wealthy.
Is this true?
It's just like
they don't have this.
He's just a Skyrim. Oh, that's the bird. look at where you fucking paused it. That's great.
Yeah.
He's literally just a Skyrim. Not even Skyrim. He's an Oblivion NPC. He's one of those NPCs that like he'll say the same line like twice in a row.
Yeah, I think we get the point there. I mean, it's like it's not gonna get any better.
No, it's gonna.
I mean, it just.
You're just going to need stronger antidepressants,
Yeah.
but, democracy, am I right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it just like it gets worse. I mean, I haven't seen that entire clip, but I'm sure he repeats himself for years. I mean, I can't believe how anybody would take this guy seriously. I mean, it's like, well then.
I feel like
but
a lot
yeah,
of
I
people
wanted
don't,
to get.
Go ahead. You wanted to get to?
Okay, yeah, it's all right. There's something else I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
It's this new Democrat Party policy, which is an election day thing. It's obvious to me, but it's an election day thing.
Okay.
Let's see. What's Arizona and Connecticut and probably Minnesota too have done this. They've used government funds in order to cut medical debt, to buy up medical debt and forgive it. On the surface, that sounds like a great idea. In fact, that's something that, oh wow, that's a great idea. Let's keep doing that. If you dig underneath, I thought about this yesterday because I saw a Kyle Kalinske video. This happened to be in my feed, which of course, he's always on my feed, even though I'm not subscribed to him. Anyways, I saw his video on it. He's rah Democrats. Oh yeah, this is such a great idea. Joe Biden should do this. Blah 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 blah. It's like the same crap he always says. Then, but I started thinking to myself, okay, what happens to the chronically ill? Like, okay, you forgive all their debt, people that are chronically ill. Then what? Oh yeah, their debt will come back, and it's not only come back, but it'll be even worse because these corporations will realize, oh, the government will eventually pay what they owe. So let's double and triple the cost here, and then it drowned Americans more in debt, and then eventually the government pay it off, and we'll get our money.
Yeah, it's a giant grift.
Yeah,
like they're working together. So of course this is like a good call for them.
I wrote it here under his comment section because this is a video. I'm not going to play any of this because I'm not going to subject my audience to that or you, but this is the actual comment that I sent.
No, we don't want.
Let me see if I can make this.
We don't want Lib Street boys talking at us in here. It's Friday. We want to have a good time. We don't want like.
Yeah, I just wanted to show my comment here. Whoops, what happened?
You had it back there. Hold on, go.
Here it is. It just went all the way down here. All right, that should be it should be readable.
Here's the issue that Kalinske.
Here's the issue that Kalinske isn't.
Go ahead.
Telling you what happens with the people that are chronically ill. That medical debt will come back and be much bigger than they owed before their debt being forgiven. Democrats are doing this because it's an election year. There's no way that Democrats would do this if it was an election year. So Americans will have billions of dollars of medical debt, which they can't pay and won't get any help from politicians. Another issue Kalinske isn't telling you or hasn't thought of now is now these private hospitals know that governments will eventually pay off medical debt. So they will double and triple what they charge because they know that the government will eventually pay. This medical bill crisis will get much worse because of this policy.
Of course.
That was my full paragraph comment there. And I wanted to run that by you and whether you would agree with that or not.
I do agree. And like everything, like everything, I'll say this forever, but you always have to think of like any sort of moves or plays like your capitalist government makes is ask yourself who benefits. And it's very clear who benefits here. Corporations benefit, and the government that serves the corporations, well, they benefit too because they're, the people they actually work for benefit. Like, people aren't going to benefit from this because corporations are just going to, for every policy that they do to try and mitigate, whether it's a minimum wage increase or anything else, whatever policy they try to do to placate the masses into thinking they're tackling the ills of capitalism, the capitalists just have a counter. Like, they can raise the minimum wage, great, but you know what that corporation is going to do? They're just going to fucking lay people off. And I saw it. The second the minimum wage went up here in Canada, I walked into the supermarket. There was barely anyone working. And that's because I found out later that they had laid 3 people off the second that minimum wage increase went out. Like, they're always going to have a counter for this. That's the thing. Like, so unless you're gonna actually deal with the underlying problem, your band-aids for that problem are not going to solve the fucking problem, because that problem is just going to rip off the band-aids, or they're just going to create other wounds elsewhere to make up for the band-aids on your arm to begin with, sir and madams.
What the Democrats are doing is they're putting a bandage over a gangrenous wound, because this policy is not going to help. Yeah, it'll be a temporary, oh, thank God, I don't have medical debt. But a lot of people that have medical debt are chronically ill. Then what? Nothing, because it's not an election year anymore. Politicians won't help. Kyle Kalinske here, being the super genius that he is, he'll ignore this because the elections are over, and he'll move on to being rah-rah Democrat. But right now, his genius idea, more blue states should do this. More blue states should do this in order to get elected. He doesn't actually care. That's like the infuriating part and the insidious part. He doesn't care. He wants Democrats to be elected. So he's like, oh, they should do this now. Now, during an election year. To me, this policy is insidious. It's nice. It's not on the surface. It's like a good idea, but once you dig a little bit deeper and break it down, it's like, oh, this is horrible. I mean, and assholes like Kyle Kalinske just keep running an interference with the Democratic Party. Like, oh, we keep doing it. Like, Joe Biden should do this. He should forgive debt nationwide. And then what? The same problem will be around anyways. Yeah. It'll be worse because at a federal level now. It just drives me crazy.
You're not wrong.
Oh God, his
face,
I mean, if you look at his face, it's like this man.
I want to throw like
this man uses too much. He uses too much peroxide for his head, and he uses too much Just for Men for his beard. It's like his beard is so like dark black now that it's like he uses way too much Just for Men on his beard and way too much peroxide on his head.
I'm not gonna lie, his mother Crystal Ball really needs to like give him some coaching tips, because like he's goddamn, she's got to take better care of her son. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, he looks like, I mean, there's too much Just for Men on his beard and way too much peroxide in his head. It's like, holy crap. I mean, it's like he looks completely like different than what he did just a few years ago. I mean, before he met Crystal.
Yep.
It's just like Crystal has like been his, he's completely smitten with her. I mean, it's so obvious that every video he does now, oh, Crystal said this, or Crystal said that. Oh, I agree with Crystal when she said this on her show. It's like, don't you have your original thought? I mean, it's like, I get that she's your wife now and all, but come on.
He got libified.
That's what happened. Because back, I think it was 2019, he did this video so that he was talking about why Trump isn't worse than Biden. In fact, he thought that Biden was worse than Trump. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, that's a good video. Right after that, he met Crystal Ball, and literally a year after that, he completely changed his tune. And all of a sudden, Trump is like the worst evil, like Orange Man bad. He's a fool. He has full Trump derangement syndrome now.
Yeah.
So obviously, this man is totally pussy whipped by Crystal. I mean, I hope that her whatever is good.
It's because after he did that video, Crystal grounded him, and she said he can't go out and play with the other leftists anymore until he finishes his Biden. Kyle called Crystal stupid.
That could have been it. I mean, yeah, that's an old video from like 15 years ago when Kyle first was on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Crystal was on MSNBC at the time. So
Bro.
he covered one of her videos where she got pranked by a Howard Stern viewer. And Kyle started laughing. Crystal Ball is so stupid, man. She's so stupid. Ironically, now he ended up marrying her, but 10 years later, which I wonder if she ever saw that video and how he explained it away. But
She probably liked it. She's like, oh, okay, challenge accepted. I'm going to marry this guy and then ground him for life.
Yeah, that's the video that Steph, Mr. Perfect is Perfect, is referring to. No, that's my co-host for Pro Wrestling Talk, which is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, which is my other podcast.
Nice. Check that out, y'all.
But yeah, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on this channel, on whatever channel you're watching now, it's going to be on there. So, because I'm live on like 6 different channels. So, Twitter and Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and Rumble. I'm all over the place. So, wherever you're watching this, it's going to be there tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And I know, Snow, you're also playing a video game at 10:30, so it'll be off before then. So it's not like we're not going to go over. But
yeah, it's gonna be good shit. It's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a fun evening tomorrow, everybody. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got Angel stuff, and then we got my thing. Yep. I'm gonna go into detail. Basically, what went down with me the last basically 4 months, and just kind of be transparent with everybody about that. And then we're going to check out a really cool new game that Jesse, what up, brother? We're going to check out a really cool game that's like kind of embraced like
what's
the
up,
old
Jess?
school sort of role-playing game shit that we all grew up on. So I'm going to check that out and see if it's any good. I managed to make my character like morbidly obese and red, and he's got like some shit. He looks like the worst thing you could possibly run into on the street. So it's gonna be fun.
That's
so
gonna be interesting.
Be sure to
check that out. 10:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Give it a like in advance. And I was thinking this like before we went on air. I'm like, I think Snow is the first member of INN never had on my show. And that's weird because it's like you figured that I would have somebody else on by now, but I really haven't. So it's like, you're the first. I just realized that looking through my archive.
Nice. Well, it's been fun. It's been a cool chat. I really appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the catch up a lot because I'm fucking walking back in here blind. I'm like, okay, what kind of unhinged bullshit did I miss for 3-4 months? And sure enough, it looks even. It looks like even more bullshit.
There's
than I
more
thought
shit,
it was,
but we can't get to it all tonight. But there's even more. If you look into it, it's like, oh man. I mean, it's like maybe I should have stayed away. But for me, it's like I really can't stay away. It's like I could probably take a week off from this show, but I always end up coming back because it's so much shit to talk about. And I wanted to. There's one more thing before. I'm glad I saw it. Because we have a little bit more time. It's not like we have to be on for like a second.
No, for me, it's like I've decided to become worse. I'm like, I need to come. This is the time that I need to fucking come back because, goddamn, this is just too much.
We were talking about Israel and Palestine earlier. So there was this congressman who like completely lost his shit. And is a Republican, or I think he's a Republican. Yeah, Republican, Tennessee. And he started talking about how he's pro-Israel all the way, no matter what. So let me.
Of
course. He looks unhinged. Like he looks straight up unhinged here. Why is it just not? Okay, here it is. Should be popping up. Here it is. Let's see. Tennessee Republican Chuck Fleischman, I believe. So this is Code Pink protesting him. So this is Code Pink protesting him about the Chuck Fleischman wants to wipe Palestine off the earth, which is not hyperbole, by the way, if you watch this.
Palestinians, I will never support them.
Why do you support the genocide and all of the war crimes and collective punishment? Are you concerned about all the children?
Let me make
died
it
in
clear.
Gaza?
Let me make it clear. Israel is our ally, will always be our ally.
at how unhinged he
And
is.
they are not guilty of genocide, and I will support Israel forever.
Israel will stay your ally, even though they commit
Israel will be
genocide.
my
Even
that's
that.
your term.
Even
Can
when
you
they kill
That is
explain?
your
even
term.
when they kill 30
That's your term.
The Israeli
That's a
people
statistic.
on October. Let me tell
This
you
man
a
is unhinged.
statistic.
Yeah, please.
Israel
We refer to
will
it
exist.
as defending
Jewish state will
ourselves.
exist.
God
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
damn it. All
But
right.
look at how
all right, I'm
unhinged he
sorry.
looks. No, I mean it's infuriating.
I'm
He's
already
like,
back
he's-
and I'm already pissed off at this stupid bullshit. Somehow
Yeah,
it got
he's-
worse. I thought it was the worst, and now this is this dog shit. That's your term. No, dude,
I
it's
think
just
he's-
what it is. If I
Yeah.
say to you, hey, can you pass me the spoon? You're gonna pass me the spoon. You're not gonna be like, well, that's your term. I refer to it as a flat fork or some shit. No, it's genocide. That's the word
Yeah.
you're fucking using. You all know the word.
yeah,
shit.
I mean Jesse,
Back in my
you know what's
bullshit now.
you know what's funny, Jesse? I mean, it was Mastermind Hour who suggested I team up with Steph for the wrestling show, and he was the one that reached out to her. So it wasn't for him, that show probably wouldn't have happened. So I appreciate the support, and let's keep he's so unhinged. He keeps going another minute of this.
That's not a
It will always
statistic.
exist,
That's not what we're.
and that is for
That
God.
has
It's
absolutely
God.
nothing to do with what we're saying.
I will
You are a
always support
supporter of
Israel.
genocide, sir. You're
I will
supporting
always
the murder
support
of
Israel,
little children.
and you can tell the Palestinians I will
I
never
am a
support
Palestinian
them.
myself.
Then I
And
will
you
tell
didn't
you,
say
I will
that.
never support you. I will tell you to your
And
face.
you want you want my cousins
Goodbye
to
to
die.
Palestine. Goodbye to
Goodbye
Palestine.
to Palestine.
You want Palestine?
We will support Israel forever.
forever.
So you are
I will
comfortable.
always
So just
support Israel.
FYI, this guy just said goodbye
Always
to
support
Palestine.
Yes.
Israel.
So you just said goodbye to Palestine.
Yes.
So
Is this a real
you are
person?
saying you are comfortable with the
Yeah, apparently
Goodbye.
he's a congressman
said-
from Tennessee.
I said good day. Like,
Good day, sir. Yeah,
holy fucking shit. What is like he's just like goodbye to Palestine? Sir,
Yeah.
is
The
this a real
murder of
person or is this
thousands
like a did they design him in like a fucking Tesla lab or some shit? What is happening?
like an android. I don't know. An android wouldn't be this just unhinged, probably.
Look at his
Jewish
face.
people
There's nothing
Yeah.
in
never
those
rise
eyes.
again
Yeah.
under
Palestinian terrorism.
under Hamas, under Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
Israel will be secure
Forever.
God
Bro,
bless Israel
bro.
forever.
Bro, we're back in 2001. We're literally back in 2001.
Yeah, he's going to the congressional elevator there.
He's going to
But
the terror. He's doing the time-honored terrorism bad shtick that they keep always pivoting back to whenever someone's a little concerned that they're doing some atrocities over the seas. They're always going back to the terrorism bad shtick. That's their thing.
Yeah,
that's their go-to.
That's Republican. That's all they really got. And he was unhinged. I mean, he went for like 2 minutes there, just totally unhinged. And
I love how he backs himself into an actual court.
yeah, he went into the elevator. He's like, the congressional elevator. He's like, let me close this shit. Israel will live forever. Like he had that evil voice. And all right, so this is one more thing real quick. This shows Pete Buttigieg's incompetence as transportation secretary. So this came out today. The United Airlines plane from San Francisco diverts and lands safely after losing a tire. The United States United Airlines flight departing from San Francisco International Airport was diverted to Los Angeles due to a lost tire during takeoff. There's a video down here I can show. Airport officials reported damage to multiple cars caused by the falling tire. The plane made a safe landing in LAX following the incident. So I'm not sure you can see it, but It's this tire here.
Oh yeah.
See it?
It's good.
It just popped right off. And this is the damage to all the vehicles. Look at that. Total. Those cars are totaled.
Yeah, they're pretty fucked.
Yeah. So there's another. I think there's another one that happened recently too. Where is it? I could probably search it, but yeah, I mean, I saw another one. I should have probably bookmarked it, but there's a that fell completely off the. All right, there we go. Oops, there's one that completely fell off. Let's see, plane falling wheel. Let's see, it's got to be here. No, that's... Yeah, I don't know where it's at right now, but there was another plane from another company that fell recently. So I'm like, it's the Pete Buttigieg's appointment. He don't know what he's doing. He's never done anything. The airports here in the United States have been awful for years. Delays and canceled flights and overbooking of flights have gotten worse under him. I mean, the airlines double and triple to the point where it's like half the people that come can't even get on the plane. We off landing gear off of planes. I mean, it's happened at least twice. I mean, and here in the United States recently, and it's not going to get any better. I mean, especially if Biden's reelected, because Pete Buttigieg will still be around in the administration.
I mean, yeah, it feels like it felt like they just had to like figure out a position to put like a nepotism hire into. Like, you know, when a dude like hires his son
Well, it's
into
a
his
political
company
one.
and it's just like, here, you're gonna be Department of Transportation, here you go. And he just sits there and collects a paycheck and fucking like, I don't know. These are not real
what
jobs. He doesn't do anything.
Your
He
political
just sits there
appointments.
and virtue signals and gaslights people like the rest of them do. That's all they do. That's their actual job. Full-time gaslighting.
Yeah, this is another recent thing. United Boeing 737 MAX suffered gear collapse after landing in Houston. This is the one I was referring to. So look at it, the wheels collapsed, and look at that. Look at that shit.
Jesus Christ.
It's like it's on its side. Like after landing in Houston. Like, again, another Boeing plane. I mean, this is not... It's another Boeing plane, like off to the side after the landing gear collapsed on that one. When it landed, not when at least it took off. When it landed, like, it just did that. Is clearly they're not properly maintaining these planes, because it's unbelievable how... This never was a problem before. And all of a sudden, Joe Biden comes into office and Pete Buttigieg is transportation secretary. All of a sudden, there's a problem. Jesus Christ.
It's because the companies in charge of these operations know they can cut corners now because they have no one actually paying attention. In my opinion.
They get
but I think it's also just a symptom.
Exactly what it is.
I think it's also just a symptom of the obvious reality that the empire is collapsing. People got to just accept that.
Yeah, they can cut corners because Buttigieg doesn't know what he's doing. So it's not like he'll actually regulate these people. And I'm sure he wants one for president again. So he'll be taking donations from these people, from these executives at Boeing and at American Airlines or United or JetBlue. I mean, they're all they're gonna give him millions because he let them do whatever they wanted when he was transportation secretary. So now as president, if he's president, oh my God, if that man's president, oh. But if he were to become president, that'll be even worse. I mean, he'll hire some sycophant for the industry as transportation secretary, and it'll get worse. Let's see. My dad calls him Butt Club. Oh God, Butt Club.
Oh no, that's great.
Oh no, I didn't say that, guys. I mean, my ho-ho said that. Blame her for that. I love her, but blame her for that. I didn't say that. There's never enough time to maintain the planes.
Sorry, autocorrect.
They fly for 2,000 hours. Oh yeah, okay, it's autocorrect. That's fine.
That's great.
It's definitely about the money, 100%. Well, I think that'll do it for me this week. I mean, I have nothing else to talk about, so I'm gonna do some shameless plugs here. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, it's me and Steph hosting Pro Wrestling Talk, and we'll have a guest. His name is Greg, and we'll be talking about the pay per view that happened last week for AEW, Sting's last match. We'll be talking about what happened on current wrestling this week, and we'll probably tell stories about old school wrestling when we were growing up. So that's 8 o'clock Eastern and 5 Pacific on these channels here. Whatever channels you're on now, it'll be here. And yes, it is shameless because I have to joke around about it. So it's a shameless plug. And another shameless plug. So Snow will be live at 10:30 tomorrow night too, playing the game. Whatever. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the game already. But he's gonna play a game, and he'll be talking politics. He's talking about himself, all that good stuff. 10:30 Eastern. You can talk about the game a little bit more if you, but I forgot. Sorry.
It's all good. So I'm going to be talking about myself endlessly because that's kind of what I just do. But in addition, we'll be covering Embers Adrift. That's a really cool game that got on my radar. It's a new massively multiplayer online RPG. I'm going to kind of weave a lot of political stuff into that, or I'll try to at least. Because I want to kind of provide further context into like the downfall that the MMO genre in gaming fell into. TLDR, WoW killed the genre, but I'll get into that too. But also cover kind of like, what's been going on with me, what's happening, and what you guys can look forward to as viewers. So that's me.
Okay, that'll be 10:30 Eastern tomorrow night, right after Pro Wrestling Talk. So if you happen to be watching our show, stick around for another half an hour because Snow will be live, and you get to hang out with him after that. So I want to thank everybody for watching once again and joining us, and we appreciate it. Back Cookies, thank you for the stream. You two, it's good to catch you two, especially together. Yeah. Hopefully we can do this again. I liked it. I like being on, Snow being on.
Hell yeah, brother.
I guess
hit me up anytime. This was good shit. I think we could do more.
Okay, I'll definitely contact you. And I like to have variety, but I've had on Karen 3 times already, so it's like eventually, and certain guests I like more, so it's like so that'll be next week's Angel in the Afternoon at 7 o'clock Eastern. And next week we Pro Wrestling Talk 2 at 10 Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for Pro Wrestling Talk. That's if you're a pro wrestling fan. If not, then I'll see you next Friday for Angel in the Afternoon. You don't have to watch if you're not a fan, but if you want to watch, please do. Oh, by the way, give us a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And if you're not